Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I think I just got a message. Joe may not have an invite. Let me see. Do we have can we send him another link? I'm not sure who's on. Is that Lee?
It's Janine. I'll send him another link right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have to invite him?
What do you
What'd you
say?
say?
Never mind.
I hope this is being recorded.
It is
He's
recorded. Yeah, it is.
joking.
I hope so too, Angela.
We could send him another one, but then he shows up with our name on there, so she can get it to me. But if we have to, one of us can forward it.
See, I looked for that thing down at the bottom. We don't have that access here. The share invitation link, they've taken it away from us. Oh, no, we can invite. I see it now. Sorry. And we're already on YouTube too.
Okay. Do we have everybody else? 6 o'clock? Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, everyone? Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Welcome to City Council Business Meeting for Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Please let's rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag
Flag
flag of the United States of
States
America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic for which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
under
under
God,
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 indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
Justice for
and justice for all.
Well,
Roll call, please.
Councilman Scaringi,
Present.
Councilwoman Riley,
Present.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Present.
Councilman Burns,
Present.
Councilman Strawn,
present.
Councilman Scanlon,
Present.
President Rezanetti.
Present.
Okay, that's all 7 here.
Okay, thank you. So tonight we have some proclamations in honor of our 2021 high school graduates from both Seton Central Catholic Central and also Binghamton High School. And so I will now turn the floor to Councilwoman Riley.
All right, good evening, everyone. As you know, this week we will be celebrating the graduations of the high schools within the city of Binghamton. So as per usual, we have proclamations to highlight the accomplishments of both schools, all of the graduates, and just celebrate with them because this, again, is a momentous occasion. They've accomplished much in the face of a continuing pandemic. And again, we want to celebrate. I will not read the proclamation, but I do want to just read one or two stanzas here tonight I will do Binghamton High School. Do you want to do?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think
okay
I've
if you
only
do it.
have one in front of me, but both of them are very similar because
Yes, they are.
The graduates are all doing great things after graduation, and we should be proud of our neighbors and friends and really our future leaders. These children have grown up here and they will make us proud as Binghamton residents. So I will just read the last stanza of the Binghamton High School since I have it in front of me. And it says, members of the 2021 graduating class led many of Binghamton High School's athletic success, and the athletes should be commended for their leadership throughout COVID. It talks about the high school class of 2021 consists of 312 graduates, many of whom are graduating with outstanding diplomas, including 20 advanced placement AP graduates, 8 international baccalaureate IB graduates, 13 Project Lead the Way graduates, and 115 Rod Serling graduates. And so be it resolved that we, the members of this Common Council of the City of Binghamton in the County of Broome and the State of New York, on behalf of all the residents of the City of Binghamton, do hereby proclaim that the 23rd day of June 2021 shall be in honor of Binghamton High School and Seton Catholic High School classes of 2021. So let's give them a round of applause because again, they've done great things. And these proclamations were sent to both principals. Unfortunately, I don't think they had time to send all of the students to attend the meeting tonight, which is sad, but that's okay. They will have hard copies available, and hopefully they will be shared with each member of the graduating class. So again, kudos to the graduates, kudos to the families that are also just as proud as we are. And thank you, Council, for supporting this.
I couldn't have said it any better than you did, Councilwoman Riley. We are so very proud of all the students graduating. Congratulations, and keep going and reach for the stars. Congratulations. Okay, moving on. We now have to, we're moving on to approval of minutes. Councilman Scarinci.
Thank you, Madam President. Sorry about that. I was muted. I stand and ask for unanimous approval of the minutes from the June 9th, 2021 business meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Tonight, we're going to set a public hearing for our next business meeting. We'll have the deputy clerk announce that information. Janine?
All right. Binghamton City Council and the mayor of the city of Binghamton will host a public hearing regarding RL 21-121, which authorizes the mayor to submit the FY47 annual action plan and accept any and all funds allocated by HUD from CDBG, ESG, and home entitlement programs. These documents may be found on the city's website calendar as part of the June 21st, 2021 work session documents. The public hearing will take place during the next regular city council business meeting at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, July 7th, 2021 at City Hall, 38 Holly Street, Binghamton, New York, and virtually via Zoom. And then please note, residents wishing to submit public comment for the hearing may do so electronically by emailing their comments prior to 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting to clerk@cityofbinghamton.com or virtually via Zoom during the meeting as City Hall is closed to the public.
Thank you, Janine. Now let's move on to public comments. City residents are welcome to speak, and you have 5 minutes to discuss city issues. I ask you to please be respectful. Janine, please let everyone know how they can participate.
Okay, to participate in tonight's public comment, please click the raise hand button on Zoom and then leave your hand raised and we can allow people to speak one by one.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like our first speaker is Tina Chronopoulos. I will allow them to speak now. Please state your full name and address for the record.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
My name is Tina Chronopoulos. I live on Laurel Avenue, and my council representative is Sophia Resiniti. Tell me when I can start.
Yep, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I am phoning in to talk about a bunch of things, as you can imagine. First off, I guess I was taken aback a little bit by the flag raising for Juneteenth, because when I showed up on Juneteenth, which, unless I'm wrong, is the 19th of June, no flag raising took place. And in fact, the flag had already been raised. So once again, just as with the raising of the pride flag, something was shifted around, and I didn't know why. I couldn't find information about how that happened. Regardless, I do find it a little, I don't quite know what the word is. I don't think ironic is correct here. It's sort of a little bit maybe a slap in the face, especially for folks of color in this town, to have the mayor the city and, who is part of this administration proclaim in some kind of post online that, he's proud to be part of raising the flag on Juneteenth, rah, rah, freedom, everyone, rah, rah, we're all in this together. And yet at the same time, we have the mayor and some folks on city council being unwilling to truly address racial issues in our town. Like, some of you don't even put the word race or racism in your mouth. So I just wanted to point out that that is maybe a little problematic. And, again, as I said at the last meeting, bigger picture here, the Republican Party is actively trying to deny voting rights, so make it really, really difficult for people of color to vote. So I just want to encourage some of you to maybe be a little bit more circumspect when you participate in these events, to actually make sure that you do what you say that you do. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was, I noticed that on Monday you had somebody from the code enforcement office attend your meeting after a couple of people talked about court enforcement at the last council meeting. I thought that was really cool that you brought in this person. I was a little disturbed by the lack of analysis, I guess is what I would call it. Namely that all problems with the way a property looks, grass is not cut, junk is left out in the yard, that was basically squarely put on renters, right? It's like the renters who are the problem. And I didn't hear anyone talk about how slumlords are actually a big issue in our city. And I believe that city council, when it comes to code enforcement and or maybe the city of Binghamton itself, its admin, has something to do with that. And of course, I also realize that Broome County plays a role here. So there are slumlords who rent out properties in Binghamton who are local, and there are slumlords who are not local, who live downstate, elsewhere. And you have been made aware of at least one person, and I'm sure you know others too. I actually know one person by name. I won't call them out here in public because, they don't know that I'm doing this, who, a prominent person in this town who rents out property, whose properties are infested with bed bugs, who are not hygienic. So I am just disappointed that y'all didn't even bring this into your analysis, which in fact relates to racism and classism. So yet another example of how maybe your analysis was lacking. And then finally, I wanted to let you know that the FOIL process here in the city of Binghamton is not working as it should, or maybe it's not working as it should for me. Maybe other people in the community
You have 1 minute.
who are making FOIL requests are getting the materials that they're asking for. I certainly am not. And as I'm sure you know, I actually know quite a lot about how FOIL is supposed to work. So I have put in requests. I don't get an acknowledgement, which you're supposed to receive after 5 business days. I have a couple of requests where I have one request where I have actually paid a fee. I haven't received the materials. Another request that I put in, I received an acknowledgement and I was told that I would receive the materials by X date. I haven't received them. And when I follow up, I get ignored. I haven't heard from anyone at the city clerk's office in months. And so I am hoping that my council representative, Sophia Resaniti, will look into this, and or that you will bring city council clerk in front of this body next time to ask them what is wrong with this process, because for sure it's not working for me. Thank you for your time and take good care.
We have someone else, Janine?
No one yet.
Okay, if there's no one raising their hands, I think we're going to just move on at this point. Thank you. We are going to now move on to the preferred agenda. Would anyone like to pull anything from the preferred agenda before we proceed? Councilman Friedman.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to pull two pieces of legislation from the preferred agenda, please. Introductory resolutions 47 and 48.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Janine, can you please introduce the preferred agenda items?
Okay, first on tonight's preferred agenda is the intro ordinance 21-53, considered in the Employees Committee. It's an ordinance to amend the 2021 Parks and Rec admin budget for personal services.
Comments? Okay, next.
Next, we have intro ordinance 21-54, considered in finance. This is an ordinance to amend the 2021 capital budget to close various bond lines that are no longer active.
Any comments? Okay, next.
Next, we have intro ordinance 21-55, considered in finance, an ordinance to amend the 2021 budget to fund demolition of blighted properties, including the properties at 12 Broad Ave and 4 Sturgis Street.
Any comments? Okay, next.
Next, we have intro ordinance 21-56, considered in the Employees Committee, an ordinance amending the 2021 Senior Center budget to remove 1 rec attendant and add 1 senior citizen center custodian.
Any comments? Okay, next.
Next is introductory ordinance 21-57, considered in finance. This is an ordinance to amend the 2021 budget to accept additional FY46 funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development related to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Any comments? Okay, next.
Next is intro resolution 21-44, considered in employees. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Comp Alliance for workers' compensation insurance for 2 years.
Any comments? Okay, next.
Next, we have intro resolution 21-45, considered in finance. Resolution authorizing the mayor to accept first round funding from the American Rescue Plan Act in the amount of $23,092,337.
Any comments? Okay, next.
Next, we have intro resolution 21-46, considered in planning. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into agreements with various small businesses for the distribution of COVID-19 CARES Act funds.
Any comments? Okay, next.
Okay, and then intro resolution 21-47 and 48 are pulled. So the next one is 21-49, considered in finance. The resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into supplemental agreement number 2 with Clark Patterson Lee Architects, Engineers, Landscape Architect, and Surveyor DPC for the 7 Holly Street Parking Garage project for additional work not to exceed $10,000.
Any comments?
Madam President, I'll make a motion to accept the preferred agenda as amended.
Thank you. So can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Full roll call, please.
Councilman Scaringi,
Aye.
Councilwoman Riley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon,
Aye.
President Rezanetti.
Aye.
All right, that is 7 ayes.
Okay, thank you. So now we have 2 items under a non-preferred agenda. And we'll start with introductory resolution 21-41, considered in finance. Councilman Strawn.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask that council for unanimous consideration of introductory resolution 21-47, a resolution to accept $74,902 from the Homeland Security SUAS Federal Tactical Team Targeted Grant.
Second.
Comments or questions? Councilwoman Friedman.
Thank you, Madam President. So I want to start off by saying I recognize this is a grant, and would be, you know, if this is approved, we would be accepting money. It wouldn't come out of taxpayers' pockets. I understand that. I also have been pretty consistent in my viewpoint that I care very deeply about public safety and community safety, and I don't feel like, you know, putting money toward things like training to use armored vehicles or drones is the way to go about improving community safety the most effectively. And I will, well, I'll say I'm saving some comments for my council communications, but I just don't feel like this is the way that we improve public safety. So I can't support this. Thanks.
Any other comments? So I'm going to call a question.
Call the question, Madam President.
Thank you. Question recalled. Janine, roll call.
Councilman Scaringi,
Aye.
Councilwoman Riley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Nay.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon, Councilman Scanlon,
Aye.
President Rosinetti.
Aye.
Okay, that's 6 ayes, 1 nay. Friedman.
Thank you. Moving on to introductory resolution 21-48, consider and finance. Councilman Strong.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask the council for unanimous consideration of introductory resolution 2048, a resolution to accept $50,000 for the NYSDH SES under the FY 2019 Explosive Detective K-19 program.
Any comments?
Second.
Oh, okay. Councilman Friedman.
Thank you, Madam President. Likewise, you know, this is the same situation. I understand this is a grant. I understand that this would not come out of taxpayers' pockets. I raised a question at last work session at the beginning of June, and I reached out to find more information. I have not received a reply yet about my question of if there was data to support that an additional explosive detection dog would be necessary. I did take a look at the report, the May report, and the last one that I believe we received, which was February, about the calls for service by by type of call, and I couldn't see any calls that were made about explosives or potential explosives that would necessitate an explosive detection dog. There were about a dozen narcotics calls in each month over the entire city. So again, I did try, this is me doing research on my own, trying to see if there was any evidence that I could find to support us acquiring another explosive detection dog. And I maintain my stance that I don't believe surveillance of this type is how we can most effectively improve public safety. So again, while I understand this is a grant and would not come from taxpayers' pockets, I similarly do not support this piece of legislation. Thanks.
Any other comments? Okay.
Call the question, Madam President.
Question recalled. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scaringi,
Aye.
Councilwoman Riley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Nay.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon,
Aye.
President Rosinetti.
Aye.
All right, that's 6 ayes, 1 nay. Friedman.
Thank you. So I guess that brings us now to council member comments. And tonight we're starting with Councilman Scanlon.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't have a lot. I just want to say I wholeheartedly support the Binghamton Police Department and whatever they need, whatever tools they need to combat crime, which is obviously the chief and his administration think they need a canine dog. So I'm all for getting a canine dog. I'm all for accepting a grant for a canine dog. Just one time they need a canine in the city, that would make that all worthwhile. We have this canine dog. So I certainly, or this explosive canine. I certainly support what they're doing down there as a whole, as a Binghamton Police Department, and whatever they need, I'm certainly willing to give them on City Council. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Councilman Scaringi.
Thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to briefly go over two things. I wanted to thank over the last year all of the constituents and residents of the First District, as well as the entire city, all of our constituents who have a deep passion for Ely Park and the golf course, as well as Mayor David and the office and everyone here on council, and the long time it took us to get us to the positive situation that we moved toward. I received an email this week from a number of constituents who are active members at the golf course, and I just wanted to read this to everyone. It said, if this was a story about a business, CNBC might call it a turnaround story. While it is premature for congratulations, the results to date are incredibly spectacular. The company brought in to manage the course has hired professionals, and results are already becoming evident. Without a doubt, the city has made the right choice. No single person winning a low-cost bid would have ever produced the type of results we are seeing thus far. Obviously, the city is also a large part of the equation. The funding of equipment and different aspects of the course were desperately needed. This group has worked hard since opening to bring the greens back. The state that these greens were left in was a disgrace. They still have a ways to go, but they look incredible. Trust me when I tell you that the members that stayed on after last year are both incredibly surprised and appreciative. Congratulations to all involved in this decision. This will become a gift the city will cherish forever. So I just wanted to thank everyone for all of their research and all of their work and all of their time into this. I definitely want to give a shout out as well to Councilmember Scanlon and Councilmember Strawn, who also came out to some of the public speaking events that we had there, as well as Mayor David and the mayor's staff. So big win for not just the First District, but the city. And second of all, now that I think we actually found out earlier today, the COVID-19 disaster designation in New York State has or will be lifted on June 24th, which I think is a great move moving forward. And so picking up on the tradition of what a lot of my fellow colleagues do over the years, as well as we've done in the First District, we're actually going to be hosting a neighborhood cleanup in the ward. It's going to be Saturday, July 17th at 11 a.m. We're going to meet at Sunflower Park. And we'll have coffee and bagels and just some stuff to get us going in the morning. And we'll do the area in the ward in between, partly in between Oak and Magat, and some of the cross streets like Spring Forest and Elm and Meadow and Murray and Dickinson and Clinton Street as well. So just wanted to put that out there and offer anyone who would like to join us with a cup of coffee and helping out the community. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Moving on to Councilman Riley.
Thank you, Madam President. So I've already shared some of the highlights about the high school graduations happening this week and this weekend, but I would be remiss if I did not highlight the great work of the Binghamton Juneteenth Committee and the great celebration that was held this past weekend. It was truly an opportunity to meet our neighbors and celebrate safely as much as we could the time of, again, just jubilation remembering that over 250 people were freed from Galveston after the Emancipation Proclamation had already denoted that most slaves were free 2 years prior. So I was excited about that. There was some other things, but I look forward. I think I'm going to work with the team on some of the ideas for the celebrations to come. I'd also like to highlight our Odyssey of the Mind champions from New York State. We celebrated them this afternoon at the American Civic Association. Many of you know, I think we know the coaches from Binghamton, and 3 of the members of the team are also from Binghamton, but it was a combined team of students throughout the Southern Tier. And again, they placed first for the state and 4th for the entire competition. And that's major. That also gives another glimmer, puts Binghamton on the map, and lets us stand proudly about our future leaders and who we live among. So I'm excited about them. I also want to shout out the EAP BLDC winners. I won't say much because I know Joe is going to do more because he's on the board, but shout out to this organization. Again, I won't say much, but again, kudos. You'll hear more when Councilman Burns shares about these winners this afternoon. We had a great day. Again, much is happening in the community and much more to come. So please stay tuned and we'll see you. I think we will not be meeting before the 4th of July. So again, enjoy this upcoming holiday safely. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now moving on to Councilman Friedman.
Thank you, Madam President. I was so disappointed that I was not able to attend the Juneteenth celebration, but I heard that it was a blast and I saw pictures and it looked like a ton of fun. So that as Juneteenth has now become a more mainstream, now it is mainstream, it has become a national holiday, more people are becoming aware of what Juneteenth actually is. And it only happened 158 years ago, which is not as long, I think, as people think that it is. A lot of times people say, oh, that was 400 years ago. It wasn't really all that long ago. And I think it ties in, this idea that it took a long time for the news to travel, that after the Emancipation Proclamation was enacted, it took a while for that news to travel all the way down to Texas. And so we see that sometimes what is enacted doesn't logistically, meaningfully translate right away. And so what I mean by that is that it's been almost a little bit more than a year since we passed our resolution condemning hateful acts and racism, which happened right after the murder of George Floyd. And I'd like to read just a snippet of this resolution that I'm thrilled to say unanimously passed. Whereas from slavery and Jim Crow laws to segregation and the modern criminal justice system, systemic racism has led to Black people in America being brutalized and dehumanized for centuries. And whereas even in the 21st century, communities of color have endured the violent acts of racist and white supremacist groups, as well as illegal killings by law enforcement. And thankfully, we have not had a killing by law enforcement in Binghamton. But the reason why I'm so critical of initiatives like acquiring more money for more surveillance it's imperative that we look at what are the communities that are being affected by this, who is surveilled. It's very often communities of color and poor communities. It's not lost on me that when we were having that conversation last year about the previous grant for an explosives detection dog, that somebody mentioned that the dog would be hanging around at the BC Junction, which is in my district, and who tends to take the bus? Low income people. So this is the systemic racism. This is how it expresses itself. Even though slavery is no longer legal, we still have these systems that keep people down. And while we can, thank goodness, celebrate that, the Jubilee that was felt by slaves when they found out that they were free, we do still have a long way to go until we achieve true liberation. And it's all connected. So that, that's why I approach these things with such a critical eye. But I am thrilled that Juneteenth now is a federal holiday. That's amazing. I don't think people, a few years ago would think that would happen, but I'm glad that it was such a success in the park, and I look forward to future successes like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Councilman Burns.
Thank you, Madam President. I went to the Juneteenth. I went to Columbus Park with my family on Saturday, and we spent a couple hours there, and we had a great time. 6-year-old loved the face painting, and I didn't let her go in the water, spray water, because it was she had a party to go with after that, but she was fighting me to get into that. But it was a big crowd, and it was a really good time. Today, as Councilwoman Riley was saying, that it was a very positive day. The Odyssey of the Mind thing was great. One of the students was from Catholic Central, and the other students were from Vestal High School and the Vestal Middle School. And so I went to Catholic Central, so I felt proud of that. And then my daughter is a principal in Vestal, and I told her about it. She says, "Dad, I'm a principal in Vestal. You think I didn't know about the Odyssey of the Mind winners?" So I said, "Okay, sorry." Anyway, then the BLDC winners. It was, the BLDC partners with SUNY Broome, and they come up with this 2001 business plan competition. And it was won by these 3 kids. I mean, they might be young adults, but they look like kids to me. And what their business is, the glass that we put into our recycle bins is going to end up at their business, where they're going to turn this glass into powder, which they then sell it to cement makers to make a stronger cement, which will be put into infrastructure all over maybe our city or the county, the state. And it's just a genius way of recycling. And these geniuses are right here, and they're going to open their business over on Griswold Street, and right over there on the east side in Tom Scanlon's district. And it's very exciting. And so just to be around the energy at the Odyssey of the Mind, and being around the energy of these 3 kids, and these kids were all just so excited, but each one of them smarter than me, I'll tell you that. So it was just great to be around them. And I just love that kind of good energy. So thanks very much.
Thank you. Moving on to Councilman Strong.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to briefly say just thanks again to Chris Schlager for coming down on Monday and spending time with us, and thanks for the patience of the other presenters. They had to wait a little bit, but I think it was a productive conversation, and I think we're all in agreement on this. And I'm just hoping that we can work together to, even if it's just incremental changes, because our city, most of the city is looking great, and some of the stuff downtown looks great, and I'm hoping we get some of our state partners, some of these So also talk to the lawn mowing, some of these areas that are adjacent to the State Street Bridge area, some on this side and some on Aviva side that surround the State Street Bridge and the ramps and 363. I think they could do a little better job keeping those areas. The city is doing a great job. I see the walls on the Conklin Ave side. They're painting the flood walls, the levee, the levee walls off Conklin Ave. That looks great. So I just hope that we can all work together and hope to just encourage your neighbors if you're out there. And I know what Ken Frank told us the other day. I'd be shocked to see somebody really get pursued for trespassing if they were to mow their neighbor's lawn or just make it look a little better and just pick up around your house or around your area and your neighbor's house. And if everybody just works together, and maybe we can help Chris and his department with a little bit from the city if it's appropriate under state law to support them and give them a few more tools, then I think we can keep Binghamton looking great. And I hope everyone enjoys the 4th of July holiday, and we'll see you right after that. Have a good time. Good night.
Thank you. Okay, and just to kind of continue with what you just said, Councilman Strawn, regarding code, and thank you very much to Chris for joining us earlier in the week. And yes to everything you said about helping our neighbors and making sure that we do our part, which also reminds me that Councilman Scaringi, District 2 also has a cleanup on July 17th. So it's going to be a day of cleanups, I guess. It's a good thing. And I'm hoping the folks will join me in the 2nd District as well. I do want to say congratulations again to all the high school students for their accomplishments. It wasn't an easy year for any of them, and they've done an incredible job. We are so proud and proud of the teachers and administrators and parents, of course. I also wanted to say a big congratulations to all those Odyssey of the Mind teams. Those kids are brilliant. Those kids are brilliant. And we, over the years, we have gone to those competitions. Actually, one of the teams, our teams a few years back made it to Worlds. And I believe they competed, they were 2nd to China, I believe. And the final competition was here in the US. And the energy is always amazing. These kids are so smart. So congratulations. We love Odyssey of the Mind. We have our holiday weekend coming up. I hope everybody is safe and well. And I do hope that by next time we meet, we'll actually be able to meet in person. I'm very anxious to have that happen. Yes, that's right. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Can I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you. Have a great night.